Premier, the full 15% of the reserve gas is not being delivered. What public policy mechanism will you use to address the forecast gas shortage in 24 to 27?
Obviously, there's a transition going on in the energy market in Western Australia, as indeed there is around the world.
Premier, I refer to your comments in this place and on national media outlining the benefits of the 15% domestic gas reservation policy and also the most recent AEMO gas statement of opportunity forecasting a gas shortage for Western Australia between 2024 and 2027. And I ask, with the current issues facing restricting coal supply at Collie and the risk of one or both mines being shut down, requiring more gas-fired power, will WA businesses be left with an energy cliff due to insufficient local gas supplies because the full 15% of reserve gas is not available? And two, will you act or direct your ministers to secure gas supply and ensure the 15% reservation policy is delivered in full?
The Premier.
Madam Speaker, obviously there's a transition going on in the energy market in Western Australia, as indeed there is around the world. We announced a little while ago that by the end of this decade we expect there'd be no more coal-fired or coal usage by the state government in terms of power generation and the like, and we would have moved to renewables with gas as the sort of balancing backup mechanism for our energy market. So that's going to be a transition that will take place over the next 8 years. You might recall when you were running in the last state election campaign, you said it would happen over the next 2 to 3. So ours is a more managed transition to get us to that point. The Energy Minister is working with the coal companies to make sure that we have enough power over the hotter summer months and to make sure we have enough coal to meet the needs whilst this transition takes place. In terms of gas, we have put in place the gas reservation program. The Labor government did it 16 years ago. It's meant there is much more gas available now than there would otherwise have been, and we'll continue to work with the gas companies to make sure there's enough gas available. You might not know, but during the negotiations of the Scarborough gas project that I conducted as State Development Minister in 2020, the state secured the 15% supply from the Scarborough project, which is coming forward, and the same with some of the other projects out there, some of the Chevron projects and the as I recall, the Pluto project going back some years. So that's the position. Obviously, we're in a much better position than any other state in Australia. They don't have any reservation policy, and whilst the governments over there are now in a bit of a diabolical state. If you think that the federal budget is predicting a 50% on average increase over the next couple of years in power prices, and they don't have certainty of supply because they only have really export without any certainty of supply for domestic market, it's a pretty dire situation they're facing. Obviously we're different, we're separate, we're not part of the national electricity market because of distance. That's a very fortuitous thing, and we also didn't sell off the power utilities as the Liberal Party wanted to, which puts us in a good position as well. The New South Wales electricity market is a bit it's hard to comprehend what is going on there. It's hard to comprehend how it works and how the extraordinary increases in prices that are applied to consumers because of the way that market works. And I recall when the New South Wales government, Liberal government, sold it off, they said it would fix the state debt problem. They're now at, $130 billion of debt, climbing. Their deficits are $15 to $20 billion a year. So in other words, they sold off their assets and then they blew their debt. Obviously, in this state, you blew the debt and then your plan was to sell the assets. Fortunately, we came to power. We have reduced the state's debt. We got the state back to surplus, and we have a much more reliable and affordable electricity system than the other states.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Premier, the full 15% of the reserve gas is not being delivered. What public policy mechanism will you use to address the forecast gas shortage in 24 to 27?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but obviously our situation is significantly better than the other states, and we do have the 15% gas reservation policy. But you might know, or maybe you don't, the Liberal Party opposed it.
Yeah.
You opposed it. You opposed it. You opposed the policy. A bit like now you're complaining about, you're going on about coal when you wanted to close it down within 2 years. I don't understand how you can come in here and say things that are totally contrary to the policies you took. It's so hypocritical. It's breathtaking. Breathtakingly hypocritical. So our policy is the 15% reservation. I just told you, State Development Minister, that's what I secured from the Scarborough project with Woodside. That's what we secured from some of the other projects over the last decade. Your argument, when you were in power, the Liberal Party's argument was this would destroy investment. You know, since we brought in the 2006 policy, Alan Carpenter did as Premier of the state, there's been over $100 billion of investment in gas projects. And you were out there arguing, the Liberal Party is out there arguing there'll be no further investment. $100 billion of investment in gas projects in Western Australia when you said there'd be no investment. What you ought to do, Leader of the Liberal Party, whilst you're still there, is hang your head in shame.